What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, party people? Today's a special guest, man. We doing big things over here, man. We are definitely doing big things over here. What's going on, party people? Yeah, anyway, we got a special guest on today. I met this gentleman online, and he was just ran into talking behind the. I actually saw the film of his son, and he was pitching and just blowing dudes away. And I'm talking about mid-90s fastball, and I was like, "Who's this guy?" And I didn't put two and two together till after I talked to him that he was happened to just see, run into my lives. And I ended up reaching out. We talked a little bit. We went through the recruiting process. We talked about his recruiting process, which he's gonna talk about here, and we hit it off. And come to find out, his son is going through what Baron Radcliffe talked about the other day. And what I went through the whole draft process, he has a great chance of getting drafted extremely high. So I just felt, man, what's the best way to, everybody's talking about the recruiting process. He can talk about that draft process when meeting GMs out of, his son is in senior, he's meeting GMs. Process, choosing agents. So this is a wealth of knowledge. I asked his dad to come on. I'm here just to share my story and share my knowledge to help. Again, this whole community just has been about helping each other out and going through the process. So without further ado, I want to introduce Darryl Roberts. And Darryl, if you could just kind of give a little background about you and then talk about going through just kind of go from.
Well, absolutely. Well, Coach D, again, I want to just say thank you. I know I did it off camera, but I want to say it again. Just thank you for what you do. I wish I would have had someone like you, 5-6 years ago. I would have missed a lot of potholes that we fell into trying to navigate through this baseball from, going into high school and, probably before high school, et cetera. But, I'm a stay-at-home dad, work from home here, and baseball is actually our life. Our son fell in love with it about 8.5, 9 years of age, a little later start than normal, but we just are a baseball family. We love it. It's something we eat, sleep, and breathe every single day. And because of the hard work and all the stuff that's coming to fruition now, it's definitely has an opportunity to pay off big time. And that's to be seen. But bottom line is we're on the right track, moving in the right direction.
Now, great. So just give me a little things. I did ask you, if you had a baseball background and I want to know how, your son being, Aaron, how did he get into the game? How did he get into the game? Tell me a little bit how, you got introduced to the game of baseball.
Well, it was kind of amazing. I played basketball in high school and played in college as well. And it was just funny. We were working on some basketball things at an early age, and I just didn't think he was suited for that for whatever reason. And I pretty much, he's always been a very smart kid. He's 4.0 student right now, and he's doing some really great things. And I just almost gave up on sports, at least at that time. And my wife was reading in the paper at the time when people were reading in the papers. And she saw a tryout for NYS Little League, something to that effect. It wasn't Little League, but it was NYS. And she said, well, let's just try this. And we asked him if he wanted to do it. It was late registration. They had already started practicing and all of that. And he got accepted, and they had a game that coming Saturday. This was like on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And the coach said, go to Dick's Sporting Goods and get these pants. And we got a jersey for him. And so I'm thinking, we hadn't even played catch. We hadn't done anything because I didn't play baseball, didn't know anything about baseball. And we ended up going to the game. There was like 12 people on the team. And it turns out everyone gets to bat. And so he actually, without doing anything, got up. And it's so funny. If he ever does amount to anything in baseball, we have a video of him going up to bat, getting on the actual plate, and the coach having to pull him off the plate. You think about it, X marks the spot, right? So, but the funny thing about it is he actually got a hit. His first at bat, got a hit, ran to first base, and stuck on it like, glue. But that's how it actually started, by accident.
Nice, man. So you so now fast forward, and you're watching this kid who, when his first debut, he steps on the plate, but closed his eyes and got a knock first time up, and then all of a sudden, when was that transition that you not being a baseball guy, but you start seeing like, I know something is a little special. When did that? Because everybody great, but so at times you be like, that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? So when was that for you?
Well, there was a couple of times, and the first time it was just by accident. When Aaron was born, about probably third month, I was just looking at the picture just yesterday, and he actually had mitts. I actually looked down, and again, I knew nothing about baseball, didn't play baseball, but his actual hand looked like a mitt. Now, I didn't think anything of it, but I just said, Maria, his hands look like mitts. They were huge on him. He does have huge hands. And so that was one, but I really didn't, it didn't faze me because I wasn't thinking baseball, the furthest thing from me. Another time when Aaron was probably 5 years of age, 6 or so, we just bought him one of those little plastic bats and plastic balls. And at that time, my dad was living with me, and he threw Aaron a ball, and Aaron just crushed it right back at him, hit him in the park you're not supposed to hit him with. And it was like 100 miles per hour, just, bat swing. It was just amazing. And I said, wow, that's pretty amazing. Again, did not think of anything about baseball at that time, but I just knew he could actually hit hard. Then we fast forward to, to NYS, and he started playing, and, I've got videos of him learning how to swing and all of that. And obviously it was kind of frustrating at the beginning, but probably a month into it, he was just killing the ball and very good at doing grounders because we put a lot of time into it. So probably around 10 years of age is when he really started putting everything together and started, being the guy they could count on to get hits and make plays in the field, etc.
All right. So I'm going to get into I'm kind of going off and just, I'm half asking the questions, but then I'm also just kind of ad-libbing as we go. But let me give my shout outs to Mr. Portridge. What's up? What's up, Roach? What's up, Alicia? What's up, Miss Sheree out in Cali? What's up, Bubba in Alabama? What's up, Latoya in Texas? What's up, Sadiq in Atlanta? All right. What's up, Manuel in Texas? What up, Sut here in Memphis? What's up, D Brooks out in Alabama? What's up, Brian out there in Arkansas? Looney, what's up? Oscar, what's up? All right, so we got all over the place. All right, we usually got a couple little Vegas guys in here. Jesse, he usually pops in, so he's a Vegas guy too. But anyway, and Mark out in Indiana, what's up, buddy? And anyway, so you guys know the routine. I'm going to ask my questions. We kind of got into them already, but parents, make sure. You kind of line up your questions, and I'm sure you're going to have a few after we kind of get talking. So, all right, so you're realizing that 10, he's special. He got a little something. He's hitting the ball hard. And so now we go, now we enter high school. And I'm sure, you starting to see some things. And when did, obviously college coaches started recognizing him pretty early. And we talked about this behind the scenes, but I want to, kind of go through the recruiting process in high school. When did it start? Who was the first schools to kind of reach out to you? When did you start getting offers? And let's get into that.
Well, absolutely. Well, again, when he was in 7th and 8th grade, and I knew that, man, he could be something if he kept working really hard and all of that. So I actually looked around to the different high schools here in this area, and I met with the coaches. I visited the teams. I looked around. We hung out for a while, and I actually we chose the high school that he's at. We thought that would give him the best opportunity to play right then and there. And I just like the coach. I think he would have played at any of the high schools, but he was a starter as a freshman. He started 30 of 33 games and did well. Obviously, he was playing with, 18, some 19-year-olds, 17-year-olds, et cetera. But his freshman year, that summer, we went into Legion Ball. We didn't know too much about all the other stuff that was going on, It was kind of a learning as we go type of situation. Well, we got into the state championship game here for Las Vegas, and Aaron hit a home run. His defense, he was playing at that time third base, really wasn't pitching at the time, and just played extremely well. And then the local college out here, set up a meeting immediately to get together with him. And he was, again, a freshman going into his that summer, getting ready to go to sophomore. So he was offered a scholarship at that time from the local college that's out here, university out here at that time. We hadn't gone into.
What school was that?
That was UNLV.
It's not a little school. That's a D1 program. So it's not like it's it's not a little school,
Right.
Okay.
Well, that kind of started because at that time we didn't go to showcases. We didn't do any of those type of things. We just played, local here, played Legion baseball, etc. And that kind of was the first thing blip on the map. And we met with the coaches. They offered him literally on the spot. And I knew my son was going to get bigger and he was going to get stronger. We were very appreciative for the offer. There's no debating that. But we didn't say yes to that. Even though when Aaron was in the 7th and 8th grade, we went to watch, the team play. And they said, I looked at Aaron and said, wouldn't it be great for you to get out there and play with these guys? And, once you get to that age, and he smiled and said, yes, that would be cool. But I still knew that there was more for him, bigger, better opportunity out there in the marketplace. So we thanked the coach and said we'd stay in touch. And he was very nice and very cordial and all of that. But next summer, because of what he did his sophomore year, and we met a few people, one of the things that really changed for us, that just changed his whole trajectory, is this. And here can help some of the parents out there. Aaron pitched his sophomore summer or fall against a team out in California. It was called NorCal. Coach Rob Bruno was the coach, and pretty prolific coach, great guy, etc. I never talked to the coaches, the other opposing team. I just never do. It just doesn't come up. But I saw what he was doing during the game, and something just compelled me to go meet him after it was over. We had a 15, 20, 30-minute conversation. Well, Aaron had played that day. Now he started pitching a little bit more, and he was lights out. Struck out several batters, hit a home run against the team, and 2 weeks later he got an offer to come play with them in California. And one of the first events he played at was the NorCal World Series. It was in Santa Clara, California. And Aaron went there, hit 2 bombs. Every California school was actually there. At that time, he was about 86, 87-ish, throwing, pitching. So, you can see the antennas go up. As a matter of fact, I was videotaping one of his home runs. And it was 3 balls, 2 strikes. And some just told me to pan the camera over at the scouts. And that was just packed. I still have the video to this day. And then I turned it back to Aaron. Next thing you know, the ball was going out 380, 400 foot. And then after he rolled around, I panned back over to the scouts, and everybody's head was down, taking notes. That really was his coming out party. And it was thanks to that chance game we played against a team from Northern California, met the coach, and from that point on, his whole trajectory changed because of that event.
Wow. Okay. So now your son's balling, and now I'm sure you already got a UNLV. You got that, there. All right. You turned them down a little, but you already know if you kind of wanted to go back, because didn't you tell me something like they came back at you the following season, right? And up the price?
Well, correct. We had basically one offer, and it was great, But then they because they didn't really at that time, when they first saw him as a freshman and as a pitcher, he started pitching more the second year. Well, again, his velocity was increasing, and the next thing you know, they called, and it was like, I don't want to say emergency call, but they called and they wanted to meet back in there, and then the offer went up. It got even more expanded. They were getting this, and that. It was basically everything plus. And because they didn't realize he actually pitched, because he didn't pitch his freshman year at all.
Wow.
So we came back in again, and the second time I said, man, this is unbelievable. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I don't want to rush this process. We definitely like you guys, and no question about it. But I always thought there was something more out there, something bigger, better out there. I've always dreamt of, Pac-12 at the time. It was Pac-10 for me when I was in high school, but Pac-12, that was in the back of my mind, and I was kind of hoping that would happen. And right after that, Cal, Berkeley, USC, Stanford, and Washington, and all these schools started contacting us. And then it was just so exciting. You couldn't believe it that these coaches were calling, and the recruiting coaches. And then it just got, pretty crazy from that point on.
All right. So now you're in it. Now the recruiting process is going. What made you choose Cal over? Did he go on recruiting trips anywhere? How did that whole process go?
Yeah, we were in California. We checked some schools out, and we ended up, but we're at USC probably 4 different times. Coach kept saying, well, I definitely want to see you in a Trojan uniform. That was his favorite line for Aaron every time we talked to him. And we visited them. We talked to, them a lot. But Aaron is from California. He was actually born in Fairfield, not very far from there. The coaches were truly amazing. Aaron was playing in with the I think it was PDP out in Arizona. And the coach, it was a travel season for them. They were in mid-season for what they were doing. But he found out we were going to be in Arizona. Now, they would Cal had just played Arizona State, that 3 or 4 days prior. And then he went back home after that. And then 2 days later, we were out there. But one of the things that made Aaron and I really look at this, and his mom, is that the coach flew back out to Arizona, because that was a space and time and window that was kind of open for both of us. And he came out there specifically to meet with Aaron, sat down for about 3 or 4 hours, just was really, really personable. That was just truly unbelievable. That part was great. The other thing was he's a two-way player. And, a lot of coaches say, oh, yeah, we're going to use you the two-way player. But sometimes coaches, they'll say some things, and I don't want to indict any coach out there, but they had some history. Cal Berkeley actually had history of people that were two-way players. And we know nothing is given. You have to earn whatever it is you're going to do. But they definitely wanted him to play both, to pitch and to play first base, et cetera. So that was one of the reasons. Another reason is one of the top academic schools in America today, probably in the world. That was another one. And the trajectory of, baseball for Cal Berkeley is on the rise. Those were just some of the reasons that caused us to say yes.
Okay. Now, so now you say you kind of, when did you did you wait to this? I know, and I saw the signing day, I saw the pictures, but when was this decided that you guys were going to go to Cal? When was that time frame?
It was probably, Aaron got kind of tired because everybody was asking him, when are you going to sign? When are you going to sign? And I just kept sharing with him, advising him, Aaron, let's kind of figure this thing out first, because it wasn't Cal at that all at that one time. It came over progression, and it became Cal. What I just said about it and the reasons why we said yes, but it was probably the commitment came. When was that? PDP, Maria, probably sometime this year. Yeah, it was earlier this year, so it was probably in. Before the season, I think it was before the season. So probably March or April, where he made a decision. He wanted to get away from all the decision-making process and just kind of play his junior year. And then we made the commitment at that time, probably April or May of this year.
All right. So now he's a junior. He's committed school-wise. Now you keep kind of, glossing over. He pitched a little bit and all that type of stuff. Like, you glossing over that. All right. So I understand he hit bombs and all that type of stuff, but that right arm is what I saw in the pictures. I mean, I'm like, wow. Okay. So let's just kind of go through from about sophomore, junior year, the velocity side on the mound. Okay. Like, where did it go from? And then from the velocity side, I'm sure what the scout saw was that velo and start knocking on the door from there. So can you go into that a little bit?
Well, absolutely. Well, his junior year, he started touching. He was 88, 89 a few times, and he touched 90. And when he hit 90, it was like a magic number. And then anytime he went under 90, 89, I was like, man, what are you doing? 89, 88. And then he hit 91. And then anytime he got less than 91, I said, what are you doing, man? We got it. We should be hanging out in that neighborhood. And it just from his junior season, probably during the season after. So it was the summer. He took a huge, huge jump. We started doing a lot more arm carry than we did. And Aaron started doing a lot of running. We run heels. He runs heels. And his legs just became just amazing. There was one coach out of Texas, Omar Washington, a friend of mine. And we actually, this was one of the huge jumps. So people want to know, and they ask my friends, how did Aaron start hitting 95 and 96? Well, right here where I'm at, this is normally his batting area and pitching area behind me. There's normally nothing here. And he asked a question. We did a Facebook, I think it was Facebook Live. And he asked Aaron, because Aaron did through the motions, et cetera. And he said, have you ever, what is stacking? Do you know about stacking? And Aaron didn't know anything. I didn't know about stacking either. And he said, well, here's what you do. And he went through it, showed, no, go back. And we had some drills where we got on the big silver ball. And that stacking allowed him to use his back leg. And before that, he was pretty much all arms up front. But that stacking, if you look at his pictures now, if you go to his website and you check some of the pictures out, man, it looks like he's going to jump from the pitcher's mound all the way into home plate. He's phenomenal at using his leg. So that stacking made a difference. So he went from 90 early in his junior year to early summer to 92, 93. I mean, he hit it once or twice. Then he started living there, 91, 92, 93. And then at the end of the summer, went up to 94. And then got up to, in November, up to 96. So I think because of that, and because of Aaron works hard, he puts a lot of energy into preparing his body, and we've even got more to do. But the stacking actually took him up, about 7-8 miles per hour. Now we're hoping he's going to hang out there and maybe even progress a little bit more, as this season begins. But that's where the velo came this past summer and fall. He just went, and the scouts were there. The radar guns started coming out. He played with the Blackhawks, National Blackhawks team. They invited him to play, and he went down to Georgia and just crushed it there. I think he was up to 94 there. In Jupiter, a month later, he was at 95 miles an hour, got up to 95. And again, a lot of top area scouts and national scouts was there. And then again, back in Vegas, the last time he pitched the last 2 innings, and he struck out 6, faced 6 batters, struck out 6 batters, and the last pitch was 96 miles an hour.
And I'm gonna give you the leeway on and giving the site. And I want also, I know he may not be there, but if you have any of his social media handles, I definitely want you to basically tell them so they But I want them to be able to see that website like I did, when he touched 96. Again, you're listening in, and I hope the parents that are listening here, see. That's why I say he was kind of glossing over that his son, a 17-year-old kid at the time was pumping 96. Okay, so you already know with that type of velocity and going everywhere. So when I say going through the draft process, I'm not saying just anybody. Okay, so now he's in the summer and he's performing in front of these coaches and these scouts and national scout, on the national side. Yeah. So the draft process, the draft stock is just going, through the roof right now. So now I want you to kind of go through what's going on now. So, when did you choose? I know you had I'm sure you had a few agents holler at you. I know who you're going with, but, kind of talk about that process. How did they reach out to you, and how, what's going on now with the scouts and then sitting down and, kind of give a day in the life of, the Roberts family right now.
Yeah, and before I do that, I want to give a special shout out to a guy. Sometimes, when we do these things, you forget a certain name, but I want to give a shout out to Carl Nichols. He's one of the first guys when Aaron was like a 10, 11, or 12, invited us down to the Compton Academy, MLB, Urban Youth Academy. And he just spent time working with Aaron, hitting. And at that time, we really weren't pitching, but whenever I talk from this point on, I want to make sure I give this guy credit. He is.
Carl comes on. He was on yesterday or the day before. He was on. He commented and stuff. Yeah, Carl's been doing this thing for a long time, man. But yeah, shout out to Carl Nichols over there in Southern Cal doing this thing. Yes.
Doesn't get the credit he really deserves. So he's going to get it from us, and he's part of the team, et cetera. But when this started happening, man, we started getting calls and, filling out forms for, I think we've got 25 of the 30 teams have contacted us. We've had about 7 of those teams here at the house that have sat down with us and talked to us. A month ago, the Chicago Cubs had us go down to Southern California and meet the, front office people, the director of scouting, and the national cross-checker. Sometimes I don't get all the names correctly, but we went down there and he threw about 15, 20 pitches. Just recently, he had a workout for the Brewers. At this time, he was shut down, so he just met the key people, the hit recruiting folks out there, and also the San Diego Padres met with the GM of there. Again, he was shut down arm-wise, so they wanted him to work out, and some people did, but he's been in shutdown mode, just, resting his arm, but they still wanted him to come out and meet the brass, if you will. And I mean, it's just a dream come true. It's just exciting how all this is happening. Now, where it's going to end, I have no idea. But right now, all I can say is we're in the exciting phase. These guys ask a lot of questions, a lot of forms to fill out, and it's exciting. He's excited. And what it's done for Aaron, it makes him work even harder. He works hard. When we get done with this, he just came home from school. They're doing finals this week, and we're going to be running heels. Again, he's going to be running heels. So I think it's energized him to get stronger so he can do well to help his team win. The team is phenomenal. There's several amazing kids on this team. As a matter of fact, on signing day, there were 5 kids that signed to D1 schools. 4 of them were Pac-12. One of them signed here to UNLV. So they've got a team of people that are pretty phenomenal. Aaron throws, he got up touch 96. DJ Jefferson, 95, 96 as well. Campbell Holt, a lefty, throwing 90, 89, 90, 91. We've got another lefty should be coming to school at 92, 93. Kid, Josh Sharman, he doesn't throw, he doesn't have the velo, but the kid just absolutely just does a phenomenal job. And who else am I missing? But for the pitchers. And then, the Oregon kid, Parker Smith, on the team. I mean, just phenomenal kids. I mean, we've got a shot to win state this year. The pitching should be there. Even another kid, he doesn't get a lot of attention. Zach Tranowski, shortstop, third base guy. Who else? Savan Battle. He just joined us from Atlanta. He just came out here. The guy just amazing shortstop, infielder, second base type of guy. Did I miss anybody?
Named everything. The whole team.
Third baseman now. Kobe, these guys. So they have a team that's going to, I think, do pretty well. Matter of fact, we have the invite to in North Carolina, which special invitation only, the top 16 teams in the country is going to where? Cary, North Carolina.
USA Today.
The National Invitational. So everybody's going to be there, and the team is absolutely stacked. So it should be exciting times this year.
All right. So let me ask you this. So when did it kind of transform, mentally for Aaron, as far as like, because every athlete, I feel like, and we all want it, but I know it was always that little transition where it was like some clicks when it's like, I have a chance. I'm going to work extremely hard, and like I got a chance. You know what I'm saying? You just know, like, I got a chance. When did that like kind of click for Aaron?
When his sophomore sophomore summer going into junior, when we went down there to the top players in California, for the California World Series and NorCal World Series. And, because you always think about these guys and you hear about them on TV and you read this and you read that, and you think these guys are, 10 feet tall and, bulletproof. But when he went down there and kind of sized everybody up, he was right there in the middle and in a lot of cases, above them. Mm-hmm. And so that let him know, because you have these misconceptions about how good this person is or these guys that they keep talking about. But I think it really dawned on him and me as well then. And then this past summer when he was with the Blackhawks national team, I think they're out of Pennsylvania, and went down with, everyone's a D1 player. And so several of those guys are going to be in the draft this coming June of next year. And again, when he sized himself up, and a friend of mine, DJ Jefferson, said, watch what's going to happen. He's going to go down there and he's going to see what's really out there. And he's going to realize that he's one of the, good players, best players out there. And because of his hard work, that really makes a difference. So I think it's sophomore year.
All right. So now you're sitting with GMs, you're getting calls from scouts, you're filling out questionnaires, and you chose an agent. Who now you're to that point where you're choosing agents now. When did the agents kind of come into the picture, and why did you choose the agent that you end up going with?
Well, Aaron's junior season, during the spring season, one of the dads asked, could he introduce an agent to us, because he actually knew the guy and they wanted to go that way. And then he came up and we talked, and that was the first contact with an agent. And we weren't going to make any decisions right there, because again, there's no rush, and I like to kind of take my time and kind of see what's out there. And I knew, there's a lot of great people out there you hear of, and I knew if we waited and kind of maneuvered through, we'd find some people. And then others start calling, and after they start seeing 93, 94, 95, the phone picked up, and who's representing you, and it was just so great, the feeling you get, and you look back at all the work and stuff. And again, nothing's done as of yet, but going through this process, then we ended up getting contact with Lonnie Stewart. And she's the wife of Dave Stewart. Or let me say Dave Stewart is the husband of Lonnie Stewart. Let me be clear on that, because she's a dynamo. And we thought, because of Dave's playing in the, obviously with the Oakland A's and 3-time World Series champion, and just, we needed to get Aaron more, tough out there. And Dave was teaching them things like, that guy you pitching to, he's trying to take money out of your pocket. And just those type of things, working with him, I knew Aaron would have huge advantages. And Lonnie works hard doing what she does as well. But that was the reason there, to be involved with those guys. And they were just right. The energy was there. And, having a Hall of Famer and, a guy that's been in 3 World Series that could actually help Aaron from a pitching standpoint, that was one of the reasons we decided to go with those guys. Cool.
So, all right, those are, the most of my questions that I have. I got a couple questions here from the parents. And we kind of go from here. Let me see. A lot of people listening. Mark Woods asks from Indiana. He asks, Mr. Roberts, what are some of the training programs or workouts that your son used? He said he has a 16-year-old and he's curious of some of the things he used in his younger years to develop his pitching. Basically, what did your son, Aaron, what did he use? Any programs, anything, Yeah.
Well, it wasn't that. We really didn't have that. I mean, Aaron and I watched lots of videos. We haven't sat down. There's a guy in town, Evan Grissol, plus Aaron's coach, Paul Bubotes. He was a pitching coach as well. But Aaron's kind of much did this, through just kind of trial and error. And it really all came together really for him to the next level. I say the next level, that jump this past summer is where he mentally figured out where he should have his arm and do different things. But Evan Grissol has given us some great information. Of course, Coach B has been there from Desert Oasis High School. That's, kind of watched him the whole time. But as far as individually, one-on-one, we've done it on our own, just watching lots and lots and lots of videos and trial and error. And I hope and pray that we figured it out, or he has. He's actually making adjustments much faster now. And sometimes, for like your son, Mark, it just there's a maturation period. It just he'll figure it out. The more he does it, he'll actually figure it out over time. And if you do have great coaches that are teaching him, it'll make a big difference. The other thing that made a big difference is arm care. And I'll digress to those parents that have kids that are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do not let the coach on these little league teams or these club teams, please hear me, do not let them overpitch your son. Or if he's a catcher and then a pitcher and they want to win the game. And, I've seen so many kids have that challenge. If I could go back now, and I do have a chance because of my grandkids are going to a few years be in that mode. One of the things we're going to do when they get about 8 or 9, we're going to get 2-3 pound 2-pound weights or 3-pound weight, and we're going to work on these tiny muscles in here, because they throw too much. The body's not developed. Again, we're not talking about doing major weights, but if they're going to throw at that age, they need to do something, especially if they get to 13 and 14. They can't be doing the big weights. That's great if they do, but they've got to do those tiny things. And that's one thing we worked on the smaller, tiny muscles that have kept Aaron's arm, pretty strong. And so far, it's done well. But that's one thing. If as my grandkids come up, the one thing we're going to do is not going to overthrow them in Little League, no matter how good of a pitcher they are. And we're going to take the process and work on the little muscles and not do lots of weights and some of the people teach people to do. I think that's a mental no-no. It's a no-no, period.
Okay. Now, Miss Sheree out in Cali, she mentioned before too. She said her son plays for NorCal right now, and so she asked, "Do you need an agent?"
That will kind of come by itself as your son progresses, and he kind of either lights up the radar or hits well or plays well. These guys, they're all lurking all over the place. Some of them good, some of them not very good, but they're going to be lurking at these events that are out there. And that they'll actually find you. What I recommend people is that your high school coach is there to help you. There's no question about it. But they've got 20 or 30 kids they're dealing with, plus JV, they're overseeing that. It's your responsibility to get seen and to get out there. So my recommendation is, find a decent club team that you can get on, or a couple of events. And I know sometimes money, the pay-per-play, is a big issue out there for a lot of folks, but unfortunately, that's where you see a lot of these scouts. And of course, the agents are intertwined in between there as well. So they'll find you. If he does well and he continues to progress, they'll definitely find him. And the one thing that helped us from a college recruiting standpoint, because here in Vegas, we had teams come in and out, but obviously through the season, these guys are doing their own college season. My wife put together a website for Aaron, and every play we were videotaping. Literally, people look at us, why do they do that? Initially, we did it for posterity, because when I played basketball, my kids don't believe it because I don't have any video. My parents didn't do anything. So initially, we did it for posterity. Number two, we did it because now we can see challenges and issues and things we can correct. So we watch a lot of videos. And then third, I figured out that, wait a minute, we can't get the coach to come to us. We can go to the coach. So we put together an unbelievable website with his pitching, his hitting, defensive plays. And whenever they contacted us, I said, well, if you want to see some more information, you can go to aaronkroberts.com. And it's just spelled his name out, Aaron, Aaron, the letter K for King, Roberts, Roberts.com, aaronkroberts.com. And we start sending them there. And I've got this little tracker. And you can see the states where the big schools are and where they're actually watching from. You can actually go to a back door and actually see how many people, and most of them are coaches, back when he was getting recruited, are going to a site looking at different things. So that helped us tremendously through the process, because they can't be everywhere at all the time. And if your son does a great play, but nobody sees it, you don't have it on a video or a way to get it to them, then you just missed out. You have 2 or 3 of those plays that, wow, this kid can really play. So the website really played a huge difference for Aaron in his recruiting process as well.
Do you suggest that parents, kind of go that route, spend a few, a few $100 if you're not tech savvy enough to do it on your own, but hire somebody, because you can get a cheap website done, and and they can the parents can actually film the the content and put it on the website. Do you suggest that these parents really consider doing that, or what?
110%. I mean, that it was a godsend for us, and for Cal and USC and these teams that are out there, they were constantly going on, because I knew where their ISP number was from, or from Berkeley or from Southern California or one of the different schools. You could see them going there all the time, looking at different things, because every game within 48 hours, we'd have, his home run up, or his 96 miles per hour, fastball, or striking those 6 guys out, or, back in the WWBA, I think it was in Georgia, all those where he touched out at 94 miles an hour. All that stuff was on there, and they could actually see it and see it again and again and again. And so I would say yes to that.
When did you put your son's website up?
I think it probably was his freshman year. We put it up, and we just, we kind of cleaned it off the year before, or different things, and all the newer things that have come on. But every one of his plays, and obviously we don't have everything on there, but it's pretty stacked. I mean, you look at that site, you think Aaron's 6'9" and 280 pounds, and all he does is hit home runs. I mean, you try to set your own narrative on there and make these guys salivate, and we've done a good job doing that.
That was the first time I've seen an actual site, catered to the player. Now, there's huddles, different things, technology like that, highlight reels, but an actual site, I kind of, I was digging that a little bit, especially in this social media days and links and stuff. So did you ever think about recruiting services? Did you use recruiting services or anything like that?
I did not. I'm the recruiting service. Maria's the recruiting service. Again, the coaches in high school were there to help.
We did do a few profiles, but it just was kind of like.
She did a couple profiles that were free, but it was up to us. I'll put it this way. If it's going to be, it's up to me. And again, the coaches are there to support, but you look at it, don't wait for them to take the lead and do it. You've got to be the promoter. You've got to set the narrative. You've got to be proactive out there. And there's some things you can do, and there's some things you shouldn't do. I mean, there's lots of events that are out there. You don't have to go to every one of them, but there's some things you can do to get noticed. And I think the website definitely, there's no debating that, has helped us out tremendously.
I mean, that's the biggest nugget I get from today. I mean, besides, the talent level and all of that is, and I've seen that. I'm actively, going through it now. But the parents that are the hustlers of their children are the ones that end up getting rewarded at the end. You know what I'm saying? It's you can't just sit back and think a travel ball coach who is supposed to do it is going to help you, but you got to be proactive. And definitely high school coaches, you hope they do it, but the ones I see right now that I'm dealing with are the ones that are those parents are hustling and trying to get their kid, to, be seen the most and all of that. And so kudos to you for thinking of the website. I've never seen a personal website strictly just for the play. I could, it could be a lot of people that do it. I don't know, but that's the first one. When you sent it to me the other day, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Catered just to, your son, and just the fact that you're saying these coaches are looking at it consistently. That's big, you know what I'm saying? So
his bio's on there, all the things are on there. And I see it. I mean, if somebody needs some help or some ideas, you can get my information from Coach D, and whatever we can do to help, we'll definitely do that as well, because we've been helped from his high school coaches helping, and guys, we've got 7 coaches now on there. I mean, they're expecting, I know, something big this year. We all are. We went from, I think, 4 coaches now to 7, and we haven't even met 3 of them. But these guys are absolutely been very influential in Aaron moving forward. DJ Jefferson, I mean, he's opened some doors for us, a friend of mine, and the guy's his son is DJ Jefferson as well. We call him Bubba, 6'5", 190 pounds, and just an amazing kid. So he had some huge potential as well. And I mentioned Carl, Omar Nichols, Omar Washington has been a huge asset. again, some of the local coaches here that have, seen Aaron and have given us 2 cents. So we get things from everybody. It just, I ask lots of questions. I don't think I'm the know-it-all, but I probably watched more video with Aaron than probably most people. We analyze it, and I hear it all the time. NFL guys do that. MLB guys do that. College coaches do that. It was just by accident, but it made sense to me before I knew this is what we should do. Well, you see what happened on your swing that time, and we analyze things, and we don't always get it right, and we don't know what's going to happen here. Whether this goes there, or our worst case scenario, we're going to Berkeley. That's the worst case scenario, and I don't have any preconceived notions of draft day. If something great happens, great. If it doesn't, great. We're going to be even killed all the way through this and just enjoying the process. I'm a very, very proud dad.
And listen, you have every right to be. And I would like to do this, and I want to offer you this too. I know that what we're building here, again, that's why I purposely brought Barron on. And he's a great guest, but there's guys that I want people to follow, through, and that's why I wanted to get you on now. It's December. I would love to get you back on in the near future, just to get an update about, Aaron and how's he doing. So we can follow him through, so he can get extra fans pushing him. And, as he gets drafted or goes to college, he has extra fans, rooting them on. And that's why I wanted to kind of bring you on, because you're not only educating, but I want people to kind of, root and follow, what Aaron's progress and everything is doing. That's kind of, why I brought you on here too. So by saying that, I'm gonna let you go, but I know you're gonna say something, but I want you to, if you can, put you and Aaron's, social media, whatever you guys, the Twitters, the Instagrams, if you're on there. What's up, buddy? How are you, man?
How you doing?
You all right?
Come on, you bring a chair.
It's a big stud, yeah. All right, so yeah, next time I gotta have you on. I know you just got on school, man, but tell me just quickly, all right, because you're coming on, but tell me how does it feel, kind of going through this process, and tell me, how. Just give me an overall feel about how you're feeling at this time, December, going into your senior season with the baseball, talking to these scouts and the attention that you're getting. Give me an idea how you're feeling, man. What's your emotions feel like right now?
Oh, well, it's obviously exciting for sure. We're having a blast. We're trying to take every moment in, but we just got to remember to stay level-headed, really, for me on my aspect, so I can keep my mind right, keep working hard for the season, so I let no opportunity slip past me. Nice, man. So,
all right, so we all got a team or two that we, you could tell me, oh no, I'm you gonna be PC, like, hey, I just want to get drafted. If it's a chance, I don't care who drafts me and all of that. But deep down, we all got a team or two that we kind of see in the area, like, hey. Because you like me, trust me. In my senior year, I kind of knew. I'm like, if I just do what I got to do on the field my senior year, there's a great chance I'm going to get locked first round. And I started seeing and hearing things, and I was like, okay, if I can make it to 13, the Mets I was a New York guy. I didn't like the Mets growing up, but I was a New York guy. I was like, if I could just get and they skipped me. I got 14 picks. So anyway, tell me who is your dark horses. Who the team you grew up watching, man? Who you think, man? You like, man? If it comes to that point, it'd be nice if I could go there.
All right, you can't tell anyone, but it's the Yankees. It's the Yankees.
Okay. You going West Coast over to the East Coast? Okay.
Well, he's been a fan ever since he was little.
Yeah. I grew up a Yankee fan too, so I get it though. But yeah.
But he did say, you didn't hear him say, but he'd be happy to be drafted if that does happen by any of the 30 or 29 other teams.
That is being PC. I get it. You too, Aaron. You be PC. All right, but listen, it's a blessing either way. So, Aaron, I want you to do this, man. If you can, I would like if you got your Instagram or any Twitter handles or anything like that. Either write them down, post them on here like that, or give them to me, and I'll try to write them down all here. I know your wife may be on too. She can maybe.
She's doing it right now.
All right, cool. And so, you get, people to follow you and through your progress. And I, I'm rooting for you. I wish you were here early. I'll try to get on, but I know you were in school. But in the future, when you start, the season, I know you're gonna have 101 distractions going on. But if you could just remember, this guy over here that's doing the show over here would love to get you back on there. You and your dad, and you can kind of give me the progression of what's going on and how you doing during the season, man. Because it's hectic now, but trust me, once the season starts, my 2 cents for what it's worth, Aaron, just be a senior, man. Enjoy your high school, man. Just be a senior. Just be that's one thing that I try, because there's a lot of tension, a lot of people gonna be pulling at you. You're on here and all that type of stuff. Just try your best to just be a normal student, because 95% of those kids you probably will never see again past high school. You know what I'm saying? And you're going off to whatever. And that's the only thing I tried to do my senior year was like, listen, I just want to enjoy being a senior because you're being pulled everywhere. So that's just my 2 little cents for what it's worth. All right, man?
I appreciate it. Definitely.
Right.
And D, keep doing what you're doing, Coach, because the information, the knowledge you're disseminating, the guests that you're bringing on, we're learning lots of stuff. And I keep doing. I can't imagine what this is going to look like 6 months from now and what you're doing. But this is needed, it's grassroots, and I'm telling you, I'm loving it.
I appreciate it, man. And this ball is just rolling. And the good thing is doing this, I meet talented and guys like and great people like yourself. So what I would like to do is end this. Have your wife put the social media handles on there. And I appreciate you, Darryl, man. Aaron, keep working hard, dude. You know what I'm saying? You got a long way to go, but so far so good, man. And from what your dad told me about you, you know what I'm saying, how hard you need to work, man. So props to you, man. Keep it going, man. Keep healthy. Stay away. Stay out of trouble. Leave them girls alone, man. Go get this bread, man. Go get this bread. That's all I'm saying. Go get this paper, man. So anyway, Darryl, Aaron, I appreciate you, parents. So Sadiq in Atlanta said he saw you play in Lake Point, and when you were throwing, he said, what mindset from 8th grade to junior, senior year? Bubba wants to know quickly, what was your mindset from your 8th grade to your junior year? Like, what was your mindset like, Aaron?
You mean like what changed from 8th grade to junior year?
Yeah. When did you what was your mindset like from 8th grade to your junior year? Did some had to click? And your dad kind of talked about what I want to hear from you. When was it just like, man, like I'm gonna do this,
I'd probably say I've always wanted to do it for sure, but it definitely came into fruition. I would say my sophomore summer for sure would definitely be more when it came to fruition and more things came apparent. And then I would just say my mindset from 8th grade to junior, obviously more mature, obviously more understanding of the things going on around me, and just like knowing what I have to do more so than when I did back when I was in 8th grade.
Nice, man. So they that's pretty much it, man. So a lot of them saying, good luck and appreciate, good luck to you. And they so you got, like I said, you're gonna have some new fans over here, man, and then they're gonna be following you, and on top of that, so it's all love. And in the next few months you will see an increase of people on here too. So you when you come back, it's gonna be even bigger and better, and you be a nice little hopefully I could kind of get around and you could kind of spend a little 4 or 5 minutes with me, because I know everybody gonna be pulling at you by then. You know what I'm saying? Remember the little people over here. That's all I ask. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I appreciate you guys, parents. I appreciate you guys listening in. You know what I'm saying? So tomorrow I will have my boy Milton Bradley coming on. All right, we're going to discuss, old times, good times, what he's doing now, and give information to guys like this, because he was just like the Aaron back in his day, coming up through the system and getting drafted high round pick out of Long Beach, California. So, definitely want to appreciate you guys, Darryl coming on, and Aaron, it's good to meet you, brother. All right.
Hey, nice to meet you too. Carl D. Ferris, my buddy out of Texas, is on here as well. I see buddy right around the corner, my neighbor, John Clark, Jeffrey, Donald, who else was that? Carl D said, don't forget Uncle Kai. Hey, man, we appreciate all you do. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, there they go. The doorbell's ringing, so that means we gotta go. So I appreciate you guys, man. All love. Tomorrow, 3:00. Peace and love, guys. I see you guys again. All right, good to see you guys, Darryl. Take care, Aaron. Keep balling, dude. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.